We are here for the third in what will be about a 52-part series as we journey week by week through The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. Um, this is so I got a stack of books and notebooks to my side. So this is sort of in correlation with a weekly series we're doing on The Daily Laws by Robert Greene. I am reading the two in tandem because I really like I really like Robert Greene. I really like the writing of Ryan Holiday. Um, his YouTube channel is a little bit much for me sometimes, but uh, the entry for today is something that I find incredibly important for daily life. It comes to us from January 17th, and it's called Reboot the Real Work. The entry quote that we get is from Epictetus. It's a little bit disconnected from the moral, I think, but it's a little bit disconnected from the moral, I think, but it does set the table for the discussion. I am your teacher, and you are learning in my school. My aim is to bring you to the completion, unhindered, free from compulsive behavior, unrestrained, without shame, free, flourishing, and happy, looking to God in things great and small. And your aim is to learn and diligently practice all these things. Why then don't you complete the work? If you have the right aim and I have both the right aim and right preparation, what is missing? The work is quite feasible and is the only thing in our power. Let go of the past. We must only begin. Believe me, and you will see. Now, that is a bit of a scrawling type of quote. It's one that I don't know that it is very fruitful by itself, right? So most of these, if I were to just pick a random day, we're going to flip to August 26th. I am shipwrecked. I am shipwrecked before I even boarded. The journey showed me this, how much of what we have is unnecessary, and how easily we can decide to rid ourselves of these things whether it's necessary, never suffering the loss. That is a quote that you can do something with on its own. This quote, we get the entry from Ryan Holiday himself here. Do you remember in school or early in your life being afraid to try something because you feared you might fail at it? Most teenagers choose to fool around rather than exert themselves. Half-hearted, lazy effort gives them a ready-made excuse. It doesn't matter. I wasn't even trying. As we get older, failure is not so inconsequential anymore. What's at stake is not some arbitrary grade or intramural sports trophy, but the quality of your life and your ability to deal with the world around you. Don't let that intimidate you, though. You have the best teachers in the world, the wisest philosophers who ever lived. And not only are you capable, the professor is asking you for something very simple. Just begin the work. The rest follows. Now, the way that I want to sort of channel the discussion for this is something that I talk about on the channel a lot. There is a difference between your job and your work. Some of us are fortunate enough to have the job that represents our work. Ryan Holiday, an author. That is his job. That is his work. Most of us have a 9-to-5 job. Some of us are so lucky as to have a 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. job. That's me. But what this is a job that we have to do to pay the bills. Your work is that thing which defines you. We talked yesterday in the series on the daily laws about January 14th and 15th. Avoid the false path. At the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are, and you know what you want, from Lao Tzu. And from Leonardo da Vinci, Just as a well-filled day brings blessed sleep, so a well-employed life brings blessed death. The entries from Robert Greene were that you have to be you. You have to be true to the self. The entry here from Ryan Holiday is that the real work is what you have to do. A lot of times we get lost in this sort of idea of busyness. Hemingway said, "Do not confuse movement for action." What he meant by this was your character can be walking around, and you have to describe that as a writer, but that's not action, that's movement. We have movement in our life a lot. There are 24 hours in a day. You sleep 8 of them. What is it that Arnold Schwarzenegger says? Uh, he said, you have 18 hours to do things in your day. And some people say, well, I need 8 hours of sleep. And I tell them, well, sleep faster, because 18 hours means you're sleeping 6 hours. But we'll just say you sleep 8. There leaves, thereby, 16 hours. 8 of those hours, you were at work. You have 8 hours to craft the rest of your life on any given day. That is where many of us find our meaning, in the post job part of the day, in the real work part of the day. The entry here from Ryan Holiday is saying that, to me, what it communicates is there's a lot of ambiguity in that work part of our lives. For example, part of my work in life is my writing. A useful goal is to set a daily expectation on yourself. I need to write 500 words per day. This is what I did through my graduate school career. And what I had noticed is I just put the pressure on myself, 500 words a day, no matter what. At least 500 words, no matter what. And what ended up happening was I would sit down and I would write whatever thoughts were on my mind. They teach you, and it's not untrue, but they teach you, look, if you can't find the words to start a story, to write fiction or poetry or nonfiction or philosophy or whatever it is that you're working on, if you cannot find those words, just write the words that are your thoughts. And yeah, it helps because you get going, you build some steam, you get the juices flowing, you get the hand moving, and all of a sudden, hey, you've got 500 words on the day. And I went along doing this, and I realized that an entire month, maybe a little bit more, I don't remember exactly how long I had done it that way, an entire month or so into the experiment, all I had done was journaling. Well, you're not going to publish short stories through journaling. It's not going to happen. That was movement, not action. Holiday saying, let the real work begin, right? What was the reboot, the real work? Eventually, I had to tell myself, I can only count those words if they are on a project. Now, sometimes what this means is I don't know where this short story is going. I'm just going to start another one up real quick. If you get that desperate, that can help. And the only reason I'm going into this type of detail is because I think that there's something comparable to this for all types of your work, whatever your work is. If your work is making videos like for YouTube, there's always something crawling around in the back of your head that you could be working on. Maybe you don't have the effort. One of the things I'm getting ready to do on Strip Cover Lit, where I do work on books, is a series for The Great Gatsby. A read-along for The Great Gatsby. Maybe I don't know how to get through chapter 1, but there's little stuff that I can do to work on other videos, right? Quotes that I need to put onto a slide on a frame for a video, things like that. There's always little work that we can be dusting up around the edges. Not getting lost in movement. One of the things that helps me, I'll share this with you, something like this. Monthly calendar 2024-2025. Now, I don't know if you can see anything. This is how I keep track of my day. Each one of these colors, the gray here, I write this color gray for this channel. This is for studies and academic type writing, for reading numbers, things like that. This is for my creative writing, so the short stories that I work on, the poetry, the novels. This is for money. This is for health. This is for strip cover lit. This is for one of my other channels. This is for one of my other channels. So this keeps me concentrated on the work portion of my life. Writing down those things that I have done in this day. And this is the third year that I have used this type of accounting. Now, I have always had these types of journals, these types of calendars, but the way that I am doing things now, this is only the third year that I have done this. But where this is helpful is I can look at this from the 2022 year. And when I look at those numbers from 2022, I can understand whether or not I am having a better January than 2022, a better January than 2023. How do I beat last year? This helps me. So one of the words that was very useful that Ryan Holiday used there was reboot the real work. One of the things that I'm very bad at, in summer, I am full of energy in life. I can go for 16 hours a day, 18 hours a day, sometimes more than that. And during the winter, this is murder for me. But it's hard to notice that without taking account. It's hard to recognize that every January, every December and January, every December, January, and into February, I kind of die a little bit. I fall off the face of the earth as far as what my goals mean, as far as my work is concerned. I fall off the face of the earth with my productivity outside of my job. By taking account of that, by writing it down, I am able to look back at last year and say, wow, I could have reached a whole lot more of my goals had January not been a 3 out of 10 month. So this year, can I just make it a 5? If I make January a 5 out of 10 month, by the time I get to August, I won't have all of the heavy lifting that I have to do. I can just stay on a steady pace. That's something with which I personally struggle. But having it written down makes it much easier. I am having by far through 19 days, I would imagine the most productive January I've had as far as my work is concerned in my entire life. Now, Januaries used to be fruitful for reading and maybe writing, but videos I would fall off, fitness I would fall off, all of these different things I would kind of crumble. Having all of these numbers written down, having all of the productivity written down, having all of the things that I did do, and consequently, all of the things I did not do, at my fingertips for the past couple of years, has made a stark difference for me, has really communicated to me, yeah, this is a problem for me. How do I remedy this problem? And one of the ways that I can do it is by looking at the sheer numbers. So last year in January, if on the 19th I wrote 200 words, okay, all I have to do to be better as far as writing is concerned is write 201 words. Last year, January 14th through the 21st, I posted 4 videos. Okay, well, as long as I post 5, I'm moving up, baby. Reboot the real work. This is something that is not so simple as it sounds. But as long as we hold ourselves accountable, I think it's something that's doable. And it's something, I think one of the things that has helped me is by having the numbers written down, by having these things at your fingertips, you can be much more accountable than ever you had been. You realizing these numbers in stark reality is madness, because you can't BS yourself when you have the numbers written down. When you have the actual productivity written down, you cannot BS yourself. And it's easy to BS yourself, especially when you're looking January to January, possibly January to January to January. Well, I felt better last year. Maybe I was sleeping a little bit more and I felt nicer about myself. That is not the purpose of life, is it? Would you rather be happy or productive? Would you rather be happy or actualized? Because I don't think they're the same thing. And oftentimes, if you really study those people who are most productive, if you really study those people who are most authentic, if you really study those people who are most actualized, very rarely, very, very rarely are they the happiest people. Because what is happiness? Happiness is a feeling, a warm, mushy feeling. But what is actualization? Actualization is being authentic. That's, I think, what to strive for. That's all I have for this episode of The Daily Stoic, a week-by-week read-along of the book on Stoicism by Ryan Holiday. If you like or appreciate what I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Stoic people, with other people who are searching for a path in life. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, this is just one of the many types of things that I do on this channel. I am also, like I said, going through The Daily Laws by Robert Greene. I have some movie reviews on this channel, some philosophy type talk, some random type essays, and I also run Strip Cover Lit, where I talk about poetry, short stories, and novels, and I hope to have you back for the next one.